Episode 16 of Trying British Foods. I live in Manhattan and I have discovered a shop that sells British food items that are not otherwise available in American stores, so I'm working my way through recommendations that you all send to me. To drink this evening, I have something that has been on the list for a very long time. I would imagine you pronounce this Ribena. We would say Ribena, or even Rabenna. What is most exciting to me about this is that it is blackcurrant flavored, which blackcurrant is a flavor that we just generally do not have in the US really at all. I remember reading something somewhere that it actually was banned in the US, the flavoring, for a while. I don't really remember why, and I actually don't think it technically is anymore, but I think just the residual effects of that means we really just don't have it very commonly at all, and I've never tried it personally. I think the only thing I've had so far in my life that really was just blackcurrant flavored was one of the wine gums that I had in a previous episode. But the wine gums were just such a confusing maze of nonsense that I just didn't really understand what I was tasting, I don't think. So I'm actually very excited to try this. Per the instructions on the back, I have diluted this, so 1 part of this with 4 parts water. Also say something on the back here that just really struck me, and I just need to confirm something with all of you if you wouldn't mind. So there's a quick note on the back about our blackcurrants. It says, since 1938, we've been working with British farms, the birds, and the bees to grow juicy blackcurrants. We harvest our blackcurrants at their freshest to ensure every glass of Ribena is deliciously fruity. Now, does the birds and the bees, is that the same euphemism in the UK as it is in the US? Because if it is, bravo, that is brilliant. And if it's not, that's still unintentionally really hilarious. Then I have a lot of requests for this, actually. Now, I have been told you pronounce this fruit pastels, and which is, if that is true, that is a complete abomination. That is completely unacceptable. You are never allowed to laugh at an American who mispronounces this on the first try, because we would never, ever get pastels out of this. I can see where you're coming from. We would say the double L would translate into the Spanish Y for us, so we would say fruit pastilles, or maybe fruit pastilles, something like that, but never pastels. But I'll give it to you. It's all right. I have this Lion bar, this chocolate bar. So this is from Nestle, or do you say Nestle? See, I don't trust you anymore. It says on the back here that it is a filled wafer with caramel and cereals covered in milk chocolate. I'm not entirely certain what it means by cereals in this context, but I guess we'll find out. All right, so starting with the Ribena. Very, very, very big thumbs up to this. I do really like this. The only disappointment for me, and this is not your fault, and this is not Ribena's fault, it's not the birds and the bees' fault. The only disappointment here is this really tastes pretty much just like our grape juice here. I mean, if you weren't telling me this is blackcurrant, I would think this is just grape juice, which is not a criticism. I was just expecting a more unique flavor, a more distinct flavor from our grape juice. But yeah, this is basically grape juice, a little bit more tart. I actually, personally, my own taste, I think it says 1 part of this with 4 parts water. I personally would do maybe like 1 part of this with 3 parts water, but that's just me. What I really would like to try is, I believe there's blackcurrant jam. I would really like to try that. I think I saw some at the shop. I might pick that up, and that might give me a slightly truer taste of actual blackcurrant than this, but otherwise, this is really great. I like this a lot. The fruit pastels. Like this. Assortment of colors. I assume assortment of flavors as well. Woo! This is absurd. Oh my goodness. Okay. First of all, I love these. I love the taste. Really good. These are incredibly chewy. Really, really, really chewy. I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting something more like a gumdrop that we would have or something like that. But this, you really are putting your full jaw into it, which usually I'm used to. This is really a good exercise for the jaw because, yeah, it really takes a lot to chew. And not in the same way of wine gums, where that was like really hard to bite into. This just has an incredibly chewy consistency, but is really sweet, has really good flavor. Much better than a gumdrop that we would have, certainly. Sort of a cross between like a gumdrop and a dot, the Dots candy we have. It's that amount of chewiness. But if the dots just were a little bit sweeter and covered in sugar like this. But these are really good, really sweet. And lastly, the Lion Bar. bumpy outside. Very good. I wish there were a little bit more caramel in this and a little bit less of this wafer and apparently what's being called cereal, which I'm still not 100% exactly what that is. So like as chocolate bars go, it is relatively dry. I do wish this had a little bit more caramel in it. Maybe not quite as much as the Boost bar, which I think had a little bit too much caramel. But otherwise, this is very good. I really do want to investigate and find out what exactly is inside of this exactly. Yeah, just a little dry, but otherwise very good. Thank you very much for the recommendations, and I'll see you next time.